Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about my 2020 bookish goals. There's so much to discuss in this video. This is going to be kind of a hodgepodge of like my 2019 in review, my 2020 booktube goals, and then my 2020 like reading and bookish goals. There's a lot to pack in. I'm really excited about it. It's going to be very chatty. So if you like that kind of video, stay tuned. If not, totally understand. But I don't know. I like reflecting on the prior year, and I've always been a big resolution bitch. I love that stuff. Gets me going, keeps me excited. Let's talk about my 2019 first. 2019 was such a year. Like, I feel like so much happened. I feel like this was really almost my first year of booktube. I started my booktube channel late in 2018, so 2019 was really my first year start to finish on booktube, and I feel like I have made such strides and growth on my channel, and I feel really proud and happy with what I did. My goals, I didn't accomplish all of them, but I did accomplish the ones that I think were the most meaningful for me. So my biggest goals, I think they're kind of like, they can be summed up into two different categories. The first one is setting out to accomplish things that were book related but more booktube adjacent. This like project I wanted to do, like a story, make it a podcast, and then bringing back the Dumb Bitch Book Club with Hayden. That was something that I wanted to do in 2019, and I didn't accomplish those goals. So in that regard, kind of sad that I didn't get to do those things, but I think my focus really went into my channel, which is something that I definitely don't regret. And so like my second kind of group of goals were around creating content that I was really proud of, doing more long form stuff that I had like written down on my ideas list way back in the day and just never did because I thought they were too ambitious or like would be too difficult to accomplish. I ended up putting out those videos, my I Read 5 series, my taste test series. I definitely accomplished that, and I am so happy about it. I really feel thankful that you guys have been so receptive to the content that I like putting out the most. I think that has been such an awesome discovery in 2019, is putting out stuff that I feel really passionately about and things that I really worked hard on. You guys have really embraced, and that feels really good. I feel like when you first start out your channel, something I've noticed is you'll put a lot of stuff out, and the stuff that you're most proud of, people don't tend to give a shit about. But I think after a while, things start aligning, and you do start finding your place. And I think that's how you know like you're doing what you should be doing, is the stuff that you like kind of aligns with what other people like, and what your viewers enjoy. So in that regard, I feel really blessed. I feel like I accomplished that 2019 goal. I feel like I am going to be doing more of that in 2020. I definitely have some ambitious 2020 goals kind of around my content, but overall 2019 was it was an awesome year. I mean, I went to BookCon, I got engaged, I went on some really fun trips. I had a really great year, and a lot of that was thanks to you guys and your support. So thank you so much. If you have subscribed or if you've been watching from the beginning, I really appreciate you and your support, and any comments or like even a like on my video that you've left. Thank you so much. So 2019 was beautiful. It's gonna be hard to follow. 2020 is gonna be a very different year in so many different ways. I'm really excited about it though. So let's talk about 2020. First, like booktube related things, and at the end of the video we're gonna talk a little bit about what I read in 2019 and kind of how I want to change my reading in 2020. So if that interests you, I'll leave a timestamp in the description. If you like don't give a shit about booktube, you just care about like what I'm planning on reading, that's fine. Anyway, let's start with my goals for 2020 in regards to booktube, because I feel like that's exciting to me. I like to know what other people like want to accomplish in a year. That's jazzes my jollies. I love resolutions. So the first thing is that I want to be posting 2 videos a week. And you might say, you're already fucking doing that. That is accurate. Thank you so much. I set out to accomplish in 2019 putting out 2 videos a week. And I didn't really do that at the beginning of the year. And at the end of the year, I started doing it. And in fact, I think I might have started posting too many videos. I was posting about 3 videos a week, I would say in October and November mostly. And it was definitely achievable. It was something that I could do. But I was realizing that the overall idea behind posting 2 times a week is that have some regularity, and that I would constantly be thinking about booktube, which I don't really need help doing anymore. I think about booktube constantly. And it was becoming an issue when I started posting 3 times a week that the content that I was posting, 1 out of every 3 videos I would be like truly proud of. It would be the long form videos, the taste tests, the I Read 5s. And other stuff would be like tags or unfocused vlogs, you know, like, oh, I'm just gonna read some romance. And I can definitely tell what you guys like and what I like. Thankfully, it tends to be the same thing. I really, in 2020, want to be putting out long form content, really focused content, things that you guys really like watching. I want to be laser focused on the things that make me happy on booktube and only be focusing on that. In general, I think that's kind of just my attitude going forward anyway. I want to be interacting in meaningful ways on Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube. I want to just be focusing my intention and attention on what's important, which is putting out good content and supporting others. I don't want to get in stupid Twitter beefs anymore. That was kind of a random aside, I guess, but really I want everything to be really focused, and I want to only be putting positive energy and like positive attention and intention into my creativity and into my work. So anyway, 2 times a week posting is gonna happen. That's really not that different. I don't know. And then I guess kind of related to that, this is like a non-quantifiable goal, which I hate putting on lists because I feel like being able to quantify things is really important. I really want to make more content that pushes the envelope, both in terms of what's different on Booktube and also that's harder to make, I guess. Like for me, I want to be constantly doing things that are harder and harder because otherwise it's not fun for me. Like I like challenging myself. I've really pushed myself in 2019, like I said, and I think you guys have seen that, but I have a couple of things that have been even too ambitious, in my opinion, for my 2019 self. In 2020, I have some stuff that's hard to post. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort and in reading and in video production. I have one of those videos planned for the end of January, so stay tuned for that. It's going to be really exciting, but that's one of my big goals, is to just put out cool shit, you know? Like I want to put out even bigger and bolder stuff. And I think, again, that 2 times a week posting schedule is going to enable me to spend more time on the reading and on the video creation, less time on the editing and uploading shit that no one cares about. So that's something to look forward to if you're kind of like, good, because I fucking hated watching your tag videos, or like whatever. That's valid. Other book-related goals, again, this is stuff that I kind of hesitated to even talk about because I'm like, should I announce stuff before it's ready? But you know what? This stuff is ready to talk about, so like, let's talk about it. First thing is that I'm going to be reading a book with Hayden every month. I think the reason that the Dumb Bitch Book Club kind of fell to the wayside is because it was just too much to have to edit this really long clip of audio and then upload it to both YouTube and to the podcast app. It's a lot, okay? It was not a fun production process. The filming was really fun and I liked interacting with Hayden in that way, and reading with him was super fun. But it was not a sustainable thing. So going forward, we are going to be doing the Dumb Bitch Book Club, but it is going to be confined to YouTube and it is going to be filmed on this camera. No more podcast mic, so sorry if you are gonna miss that beautiful audio quality. I feel like this is okay, right? Like there's gonna be a video component, so it's gonna be kind of exciting. And the whole point behind the Dumb Bitch Book Club is that me and Hayden are going to read a young adult book every month. It's gonna be 1 episode a month, probably at the end of the month, and we're just gonna chat. In January, we're going to be reading A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I'm really excited. Hayden has just gotten back into reading too, which I think is gonna make this even more exciting. I'm not gonna have to like force him to read. He likes reading, so that's what we're gonna be reading. And I think that's something that's gonna be fun because like I can involve someone I love in the other thing that I love, which is Booktube. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's gonna be really cool. Next, I want to start a bookish podcast with one of my best friends. I put this on my list before I actually like fleshed out the idea, but Garen from Goblet of Fiction, we're starting a podcast called the Pain in the Neck Podcast, and this, I don't really know where we're putting it. It's definitely gonna be on a separate YouTube channel. Basically, it is going to be Garen and I reading the Black Dagger Brotherhood series from start to finish. I don't know, it's gonna be fun. I'm really excited about it. The Black Dagger Brotherhood series, if you didn't know, it's like vampires, it's smutty. It's one of my favorite series of all time, and it's gonna be fun reading it with someone who has never read the series before. Garen's fucking hilarious, and he's just getting into romance. I'll definitely update you guys more as that comes out, but that's definitely one of my goals, is to have a consistent podcast going with someone. And since Garen reads more than like Hayden does, I think that'll be a lot easier to accomplish. And then my last booktube related goal is something that I kind of hesitated with sharing out loud. I feel weird saying it, but I have seen other people that I admire talk about like their numeric goals, and I just feel like it's okay to say things out loud. I feel like I don't talk about my subscriber count a ton, besides like thanking you guys when I hit milestones. I don't really talk about like my goals, and you know, if I have numeric goals, I do. I am very numbers focused, like that does drive me. I don't really stress about it a ton, and I definitely don't post about it. I'm like, hey, subscribe to my channel kind of thing on my Twitter. That's just not really my style. But in 2020, my goal is to hit 50,000 subscribers. I'm currently sitting at about like 30.3K right now, like 30,300 subscribers. Given my growth in 2019, I feel like 50K is very doable. I gained about 20K in 2019. I feel like I could maybe accomplish the same thing in 2020 if I work really hard. Again, it's not something that I really am gonna beat myself up about if I don't hit, but I like to speak things out into the world. I feel like it motivates me, and I do think there should be a certain level of transparency. I don't know, I feel like we should talk about these things and normalize them, and you know, talk about our fears and stuff a little bit more. I don't really have any fears surrounding this, but I just feel like that's really my goal. I want to hit 50K subscribers. I feel like I'm trying to wax poetic, and I really just don't have much to say. I'm excited to work hard to try to achieve that, and if it doesn't happen, whatever, but like that's my goal for 2020, so I just thought I'd put that out there. And then, okay, I feel like it would be weird and disingenuous like not to say this, because I feel like this is definitely going to be a part of my 2020, but I am starting another channel. It is not booktube related in any sense at all, so I probably won't talk about it very much on this channel. I feel like it's weird to like have 2 channels, you know, but this is completely different stuff, and I don't feel like it fits in with my booktube channel. But brief spiel, I'm 25 and I don't have my shit together, and I feel like a lot of you guys can relate. I'll put my tweet right here where I was kind of talking about this. I feel like there are so many channels out there where people are like experts in whatever they do. They're really into fitness, and then they've been doing it 5 years, and then they make a YouTube channel to talk about it. But like, where's the person starting from scratch who's like has never done this shit before, like is terrible with personal finance, who is not in like great athletic shape, doesn't eat well, know, you know what I mean? Like, just genuinely doesn't have their shit together. I want to see that content because that's kind of what motivates me. Like, it does not motivate me to see people who already have their shit together. I'm like, all right, like, I can't do that. So, cool. Anyway, that's kind of what my other channel is going to be. It's going to be me, sort of lifestyle-y, I guess, because it's going to be a whole combination of things. It's not vlogs. It's going to be sit-down videos with me just talking about all kinds of various different shit. So if you like me and you want to listen to me talk about other stuff, that's what that channel is. I literally will never talk about this again. I promise. I will never talk about my channel again. I don't know. I feel like I personally get irritated when people are like, oh, it's on my second channel. It's on my vlog channel. I'm like, I don't care. Since books and other stuff are just so unrelated. That's the thing that's happening. I feel like I'm so all over the place in this video, so I am very sorry. That's the thing that's happening, and I feel like I needed to tell you guys. So let's talk about books. Can we talk about books? Because I want to talk about books. The first thing we should do is talk about my reading in 2019 because I feel like it was interesting. I was very surprised by the statistics. I really thought that I had read more diversely than I had. I don't know. Let's talk about it. So I read / DNF'd 195 books in 2019. My goal was to read 150 books. In 2018, I had read 155 books, so that's why I kind of set it my goal at about 150 because I was like, I can hit that. So I definitely far surpassed that, which was awesome. Only 25 of those 195 books were by POC authors. That's really shitty. Not proud of that. Of these 195 books, 173 were by female authors, 4 were by non-binary authors, and 16 were by male authors. I don't honestly know if that math adds up. Like, My most read authors were Penelope Douglas. I read 6 of her books. I read 5 books by Nalini Singh, 5 books by LJ Shen, and 5 books by C.S. Pakat. Not surprising because I did some rereading near the end of the year of my favorite authors. My most read genre was romance. I know we're shocked. I excluded both new adult and short smut because I have 2 separate shelves on my Goodreads. I have a contemporary romance and then like a new adult romance. And I read 69 contemporary romances, so love that. My next most read categories were YA contemporary. I read 34 YA contemporaries and new adult, which I read 21 of. I DNF'd 23 books this year. I read 47 books with queer main characters, which I was really happy with. And I read books that featured characters that had own voices, representation for addiction, adoption, autism, cerebral palsy, mental illness, and then religions other than my own. I read 49 3-star reads, 47 4-star reads, 29 2 stars, and 29 5 stars, and only 2 1-star reads. So that was like, it was pretty good. With all that being said, let's talk about my goals going into 2020, because after like looking at the statistics, I really felt like some things needed to change. I wasn't super proud of the lack of diversity in the books that I was reading. I definitely read a lot of queer things, but I didn't read a ton of books with other sorts of representation or by authors of color, which is something that I definitely want to strive for in 2020. So anyway, first goal is to read 160 books. I feel like that's super realistic since in 2018 my goal was 140, hit that. 2019 was 150, I hit that. So like let's go up gradually. I'll probably try to read more like 200 books, but on Goodreads it's going to be set to 160. I also want to read 50 books on my shelves that got there in 2019, or I guess in general just got there prior to 2019. Anything I buy in 2020 I hope I'll read too, but I just really need to focus on things that I already have on my physical TBR. I have an insane amount of books, especially young adult contemporaries, that I really want to fly through because I only end up liking about half of the YA contemporary I read, and they're just taking up space on my shelves, to be honest. So that's my main goal, is to read 50 books on my physical TBR, and I think that'll also help with my like lack of diversity issue. I know a lot of the young adult contemporaries that I have are by authors of color, own voices, stories, so I'm really excited to kind of get to those and to just cut down on the amount of books that I have there unread. I also want to purchase less than 20 books in 2020. I have a lot of books on my shelf. So I also use Kindle Unlimited, I use my library, I use the Audible Escape Romance package. There's no reason for me to purchase any more books this year, and I want to limit it to 20 books because I feel like I'm still going to want to buy some new releases that come out and things that I'm just like not expecting now. A lot of indie authors don't tell you really far in advance when they're coming out with stuff, so I don't want to like limit myself too much. I think 20 books is like good. That's like more than a book a month, so that's my main goal, purchase less than 20 books. I also want to read 10 female romances. I was looking at my list and realizing that a lot of the queer representation I read was a lot of like male books, whether it was a male romance or, you know, like a gay relationship in a young adult book, which is awesome. But I want to read female centered romance, not just like young adult books, but romances. I love being able to recommend those hidden gems for you guys. Again, there's not a lot of talk, I feel like, on Booktube or otherwise about female romance, and it's something that I enjoyed the ones that I read this year. I feel like I didn't read enough of it and I want to read more. So hopefully having that that, like, as a goal, I'll read even more than 10. So I also want to read 10 mystery thrillers because, again, I got into mystery thrillers this year and I really have been enjoying them. It's something that it's fun to read. Like, I'm gonna do that more in 2020. Read more spooky stuff. I'd also like to read 5 classics. I'll probably end up doing an I Read 5 or something, trying to read classics, but I feel like I have been a little bit hateful towards the classics category because I hated the ones that I read in high school, but I asked a lot of you guys, like, what classics you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I can read one that I end up enjoying, because, I mean, they're classics for a reason, right? Someone liked these books. Maybe I will like one of these books. And then my final goal is that I want to read 20 romances by authors of color. I want to read more stories in general by authors of color, but I definitely want to read more romances by authors of color. The ones that I read this year were fucking phenomenal. Like, Kennedy Ryan kills it. She's an amazing author, and it's just something that I want to be more conscientious of. I usually just pick up whatever synopsis sounds good to me and not really think about who's writing the story, if it's own voices or whatever, and I want to do that more going forward in 2020 and hopefully, again, read more stories by authors of color because I feel like that's really important. Anyway, that's all of my bookish goals, guys. I feel like this was kind of all over the place, so I'm sorry about that. I feel like I needed to get this out, and I wanted to kind of tell you guys where my channel's going, where my life's going. If you watched this whole video, thank you so much, because I know this was like kind of a mess of me just like blabbering, but I'm really thankful for all of you guys. Thank you so much for this past year watching my channel, being so supportive of me, all the likes and the comments that you've given me. Like I said, I really appreciate that. I am excited for a bright year ahead. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have in store also for 2020. Tell me in the comments down below if you are a creator, like, what your biggest goal is in 2020. If you are just a viewer, please let me know like what your bookish goals are for 2020. I'd love to know them. But that's pretty much it for me. I will be posting another video, I think, like tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much, and until next time.